Kristena will be delivering a speech on the bruises you get in your lifetime. Her time limit today is 15 to 20 minutes. She welcomes you to take notes, nod your head if you agree, and laugh if you find something she says funny. Kristina's love for friends and family is what matters most. She is the president of the American Business Women Association's Humble Artisan Chapter, president of Kingwood Toastmasters, member of Dining Out Toastmasters, the VPPR of Pathway of Professional Speakers, aka POPS, and was the 2018-2019 District 56 Public Relations Manager. She was awarded the 2017 Woman of Excellence Award for the Federation of Houston Professional Women and the 2018 Houston Area Council Woman of the Year from ABWA Humble Artisan. Presenting the bruises of life, please help me welcome Kristena Hackett.
So many people know the phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Whoever came up with that to teach young children at the developmental part of their childhood should really reconsider what they are teaching children. It implies that physical pain is more damaging than psychological. I would beg to differ. If you have ever experienced some interesting trials in your life, you know that sometimes that fight that you had at 8 years old, that pain is over with. But the things that people have said to you or done to you leaves a lasting impression on your life. And it may take you 30, 40 years to get over some of those issues. It also shows that we worry more about what we look like outwardly or we exhibit outwardly than it is internally. Now, those things may leak out after a time because you're used to trying to cover it up. But those things still exist. So I'm going to talk about 3 different types of life bruises that happen during your journey in life. I'm going to talk about the mystery bruise. I'm going to talk about, ouch, that one hurts. And I'm also going to talk about the end of the world bruise. Now let's talk about the first one, the mystery bruise. This bruise is the one that you don't know about until you find it. You ever hit yourself and you're like, don't remember where it came from, and then all of a sudden you look down and you say, where did that come from? These particular bruises in life are things that you don't know exist until they're uncovered. I call these magical triggers. When something actually happens and it triggers you to realize that there is still something there. For example, in my life, I was always known as the A student. That was in my way earlier years. But I was always known as the A student. I was on every academic program or group or club you could possibly think of, driving my mom crazy, including driving her wallet crazy as well. But there are certain times where certain people would call me dumb or stupid, or my favorite one was to over-explain something like I didn't understand them the first time, or the second time, or the third time. So by the 4th time, you're going to hit a magic trigger for me. We have a problem. Houston, we really do have a problem. And I had to realize that in my life, that trigger was linked up to something that happened to me when I was 6 years old. But you don't know that it's actually there until somebody pushes that magic button. The second one that I want to talk about is the ouch, that hurts bruise. This one is one that you notice there. That's the one that sometimes you actually see is going to happen before it happens. When you're in the middle of that slow fall, for some reason, time seems to stop when you're on your way to the ground. I still don't understand that quite right or seriously, but for some reason, time seems to slow down. And you know it's coming, and you're like, oh, this is so gonna hurt. For example, for me, an example of that is where you're having an argument. And the person that you're having an argument to is actually knows all your bags of tricks. You know, all the one-liners that's going to set you ablaze. Now, for most people, we all know that relationships, they seem to know all your trigger buttons. You wish they didn't. But they know all your trigger buttons. And you know what they're going to say before they say it. And now you're amped up and you're ready. Because you're waiting for that comment to come out. Because you got to respond for it. That's another one of those ouch, that hurts bruises. The last one that I want to talk about is the end of the world bruise. This bruise is absolutely life altering. This one changes the whole scope of your life, the whole combination of all the things that you've ever accomplished, and in one split moment can end all other successes. For example, I had a good friend of mine that shall remain nameless just in case you may know her. Not that, but just in case you may know her. I was good friends with her. She didn't really want to get married. She didn't want to really have kids. But the guy that she was dating actually wanted to have kids, wanted to get married. And after a little bit of time, she started to kind of change her mind about marriage and change her mind about kids and started to see a life with the guy. Well, New Year's Eve came along. We were about to party. I was ready. Had my little dance. We went there, we had a good time, and her guy was supposed to come meet us at the party. I'm like, cool. So she amped it up, so I'm thinking it's gonna be a proposal going on, and I'm excited. Like, yay! You get to that date of that wedding, not me. And her guy walks up straight to her, and says, you know what? I have something to tell you. We all excited. I'm like, yes, it's going. So, well, you know, you took too long to change your mind. And on second thought, I don't want to have kids with you. I don't want to get married to you. At the New Year's Eve party, guess what time this conversation started? 11:58.
Oh, wow.
At 11:59, the new girl walks in, walks past my friend and I, as we're both looking like, what in the words that I cannot say here. And 12 o'clock, Happy New Year, and they kiss right in front of us. Now, as I grabbed my friend from snatching both of them down, that changed the course of her life extensively for years. She didn't even date for another 15. She gave the next guy, oh my goodness, heavens above, issues like you never would believe, because there was a trust issue that was implanted by this catastrophic event. And all the ladies do understand that was a dramatic event. Now, I'm giving you all these nice little these examples of different types of bruises. Now, we all hate when the speech ends on that. So let me give you a couple of things that you can do to actually get over those different types of bruises. Now, number one, do not suppress it. How many people remember the song Genie in the Bottle by Britney Spears? I knew you would. I would sing it, but the way my throat is set up, I can't do it today. But don't put your pains in a bottle. Throw it in the deepest recesses of your mind for somebody else to pick up later, because they will find it. Rub it the right way, because they're going to tick you off, and actually make it blow up way bigger than what the issue actually was in the beginning. You don't want to have something that is pressing on you so bad that you blow up at everybody else. And you don't want to suppress it. What you don't want to do is either suffer in silence either. Talk to somebody. Step 2. Talk to somebody. Now, in my culture, going to a counselor is a little bit taboo. We are supposed to take everything to God in prayer. Hallelujah. I do believe we are supposed to take everything to God in prayer. Hallelujah. But the Bible also says, seek wise counsel in about 18 different verses. Read your book. So, I believe that you should also seek out counseling and help and not suffer in silence. Silence will kill you. And we have such a high suicide rate in the Black community, in the Latino community, in the upper echelons. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how many people love you. It doesn't matter how many people are concerned about you. If you are silent, it will eat at you and it will kill you. So talk about it. The third thing is to focus on the here and now. You have to change your focus. Everything that happened to you, yes, it did actually happen, but it's in the past. And you dredging it up and reliving those different times and issues and pain and anxiety. All you're doing is bringing past hurt into your now. And you're stopping yourself from receiving joy and love and peace in your now. So you can say, yes, it did happen. It will be okay. But right now, I am enjoying doing X, Y, Z to kind of help you and motivate you to move on to the next level in your life. Number 4, the final step is to forgive them and yourself. We can always say, I forgive you, it's going to be okay. In the back of our heads, we are kicking ourselves, beating ourselves up, saying, how the heck did I get into this situation? How did I let this happen to me? You really have to forgive them and you. They coincide. Forgiveness does not mean that it didn't happen to you. It just means that you love yourself enough to want better for yourself and to experience joy, love, and peace instead of being held captive by what happened. So bruises leave a mark of what happened to you that others can see sometimes. Depending on where the bruise is, if you wear a long sleeve shirt, you wear a long sleeve shirt. Or if something happens to you on your leg, you wear pants. But eventually, somebody will probably see that bruise because you're going to forget about it and wear short sleeves. And they're going to say, what's that? Bruises are not the end-all, be-all. It does not mean that you're broken. People confuse bruise with brokenness. They do not coincide. One means that you've hurt, and it's understandable. And sometimes these bruises feel like you broke every bone in your entire body. I get it. But it does not mean that you're a broken person. You are whole. You are complete. You are wonderful. You are loved, and you are a gift. So if you don't remember anything else, Please know you may be bruised, but you are not broken. Mr. Toastmaster. All the papers.
Thank you, Kristena, for the sound advice. Don't forget, if you need additional help, Kanye West is